I had previously made a part 6 to Butter Pig, but I thought I could do a little better. A few things have changed, in particular the rolling stock. This being the final episode, I also wanted to dive into why I chose the narrow gauge railroad with an 040 Porter. For the best shots of Butter Pig running, please pop over to Massey Media's YouTube channel. You will see a thumbnail, the one that's pictured here. You can also type in a tour of Bitter Creek and Western live steam railroad with 040 Porter Butter Pig. This is a video of my buddy Mike and I double heading at Sacramento Valley Live Steamer's 50th anniversary. I call Butter Pig my little tank. She just goes. Ken Rowe really did an amazing job when constructing the little Porter. A little recap from part 1 of the Inland Empire story. She was built in 1985. The beginnings of her operation started in Washington State. That's where Ken Rowe would run her. She was later sold to a nice fellow named Joe McDermott, who I've had the pleasure of speaking with many a times. Joe admitted to me that he didn't run her much in the 8 years or so he owned her, no more than 1 or 2 times. Life got busy for him, and then he later sold the locomotive to Tom Gacy. This is who I purchased Butter Pig from. Tom's an avid rail collector and an awesome engineer. He runs 3-foot gauge, so he got into the big stuff. He ran the little Porter no more than 1 or 2 times in the 8 years he owned her as well, and wanted to hand her off to a good home. These are some of the first shots he sent upon my purchase of the little Porter. He did a hydro test, as well as check the boiler. That makes me the 4th owner of the little 3-inch scale Porter locomotive known as Butter Pig. This is where my Porter journey begins. There's a lake called Pinecrest my family's been to for over 100 years in Tuolumne County, California. Holding back Pinecrest Lake is Strawberry Dam, built by the Sierra and San Francisco Power Company. The dam was completed in 1916. The rock-filled masonry dam is 720 feet long and 143 feet tall. It impounds the South Fork Stanislaus River exclusively for hydroelectric power generation, now owned by PG&E as we know it. In photos I found through the California Library, I noticed they used 3 Porter locomotives in the construction of the dam, and they were all running on 3-foot gauge track. Now Butter Pig is based around 2-foot narrow gauge track, but that didn't stop me from wanting to go off this particular dam's construction. You see, the locomotives they used here in the Strawberry Dam construction are all HK Porters, around 7-8 ton engines. And that's in part because most of the logging operations in and around the area, Sugar Pine, Westside Lumber Company, were all 3-foot gauge. Nevertheless, this compact 2-3 year operation in constructing the dam holds a special place in my heart, and these Porter locomotives were the backbone of the operation. Hauling granite to the rock-filled masonry dam was one of the main tasks for the Porter locomotives. Note the granite rock hillside here. And here's the after shot. These guys were moving a ton of granite. This shot really caught my attention because you can clearly see they're double heading 2 Porters together. Here you can see the steam shovel scooping rock into the dump cars. And of course, this little railroad was no exception for derailments. Now, when I found these photos through the Library of California, I was over the moon. Why? Because in the 80s and 90s, we went off paperback books. And most photos of the construction looked like this. And then, voila, the internet. And I found the gold mine. Here we are at Pinecrest Lake, Strawberry Dam. The work train scraped right along here. And it also went along this wall here. You can see where they blew up all that rock. And then what they did, they built a trestle over here. They built a big old trestle.
They eventually burnt it down, but there was a trestle that went right along here.
Here on the right hand side you can clearly see the trestle. They use this to dump dirt from quarry 2. And the next shot's really interesting because you can see the remnants of the trestle they burnt down.
It's really cool to actually be here in this place. It holds a lot of good memories, special place in my heart. Family's been here for almost 100 years.
Well, on our fishing trip at Pinecrest Lake, Strawberry Dam, I decided to take a 360 shot of the general construction site where it all took place. Now, my new gondolas are not prototypical of the dumper cars they used in the construction of the dam, but I decided to pay my respects in the form of decals and lettering. Now that we know where the Porter inspiration came from, let's go back to Butterpig. Butterpig is based off a 3.5-ton Cornet Porter locomotive, one of the smallest Porters HK ever produced. Here you can see the little 3-inch scale Porter taken on a 3% grade, hauling a fully loaded train consisting of 4 adults and 2 kids. She's a very powerful little engine for her size, and has hauled hundreds, if not thousands of people in the year and a half I've owned her. Actually, last Halloween, 2022, we hauled 500 passengers and went 8.5 miles around our house. It was about a 5-hour period. And here's some shots of Halloween 2023. This run was from 2 to 9 p.m., non-stop. She pulled the same, if not more, and drank 40 gallons of water that evening. In fact, Butterpig's become such a hit that she got accommodation through the mayor of San Jose. Mayor Mahan said she brought a lot of joy to the neighborhood. It was really good to hear. You know, as a rail enthusiast who likes sharing the hobby with others, it's really nice to be acknowledged, and that was really cool. And I want to thank Mike Massey as well. You can check out, once again, his channel and see the full operation of my backyard setup and the portable layout. Touching back on the inspiration to the little Cornet Porter locomotive, I have a copy of the 1985 issue of the Gazette, Narrow Gauge and Shortline magazine. This is where it all started for Ken Rowe. Here you can clearly see the inspiration of a little on-18 Cornet Porter locomotive that was the humble yet complex beginnings of the locomotive known as Butterpig. I too followed in the footsteps of the Narrow Gauge Gazette magazine and found myself roughly modeling the gondolas pictured in the illustration. Here's a couple shots of Butterpig up on the scissor lift. This concludes the final chapter of Butterpig Part 6, an Inland Empire story. I can't thank the folks that have helped me along this journey enough. All the guys at the club, my rail buddies, my family, my friends, thank you all. And of course to all the YouTube subscribers and to you, the viewer. Thanks for tuning in. And always, keep steaming.